What if the person who broke you had to watch your eyes? Silently? No shouting. No confrontation. Just the kind of revenge that cuts deeper than any words or fists ever could. Welcome to Revenge Room, where real pain meets real power, and betrayal is transformed into unstoppable strength. Today, we're diving into a story of emotional revenge, raw, personal, and chillingly satisfying. Stay with me until the end, because the ending is the part that will leave you speechless. It all started quietly. At first, it was the little things: delayed messages, distant tones, smiles that didn't reach the eyes. You brushed them off, told yourself it was nothing, that you were overthinking. But deep down, you knew something had shifted. Then came the betrayal. Lies layered over lies, manipulation that made you question your own instincts, and eventually, the crushing realization they were gone. Not a dramatic confrontation, not a clear goodbye, just absence, silence, a void where trust and love used to live. The nights that followed were the hardest. Endless hours of staring at the ceiling, replaying moments over and over, searching for answers that would never come. You questioned yourself, every decision, every word. Every smile. Could you have prevented this? The mind can be cruel in those moments, convincing you that the pain is your fault, that the betrayal was deserved. But the truth? It wasn't. Rock bottom isn't always explosive. Sometimes it's quiet. You stop trusting. You stop hoping. You barely recognize yourself in the mirror. But in that darkness, a small flicker appears, a realization that maybe, just maybe, this is not the end. That you still have power. That the life they tried to steal can be rebuilt. Stronger, smarter, untouchable. And that's when the shift begins. You make a choice. Not to lash out. Not to yell, fight, or prove anything. You choose yourself. You rebuild quietly, deliberately. Routines, self-care, boundaries, small victories, they add up. Confidence returns. Strength returns. Joy returns. And without realizing it, you're glowing. Not for them. Not to make them jealous. But for yourself. Eventually, they notice your absence, your growth, your unshakable calm. And that's the real revenge. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to make them suffer. They feel it in every moment. You don't need them. Every success you achieve, every laugh you take freely. Irrelevance becomes your ultimate power. The betrayal didn't happen in one explosive moment. It arrived quietly, almost imperceptibly, like a shadow that grows longer without your noticing. Small things at first, texts left unread, delayed responses, subtle shifts in tone, conversations that felt strained, smiles that never quite reached the eyes. You noticed, of course, but dismissed it, telling yourself you were imagining things, that you were overreacting. You clung to the familiar comfort of trust, because questioning it meant opening a door you weren't ready to face. But betrayal doesn't need a warning. It creeps in like a thief in the night, stripping you of certainty while leaving you believing nothing has changed. The cheating wasn't dramatic. There were no flashy scandals, no confessions shouted across a room. It was insidious, hidden messages, lies layered upon lies, subtle manipulations that made you doubt your memory, your intuition, your own sanity. Each revelation was like a silent dagger, twisting slowly, leaving wounds invisible to the world, but sharp enough to cut through your sense of self. And then came the abandonment. Not a formal breakup, not an apology, just a gradual withdrawal, a disappearance from your life, leaving you standing in the ruins of what you thought would last forever. Silence became your constant companion. Humiliation took root quietly, gnawing at your confidence, your pride, your sense of worth.
At first, you tried to fix it. You reached out. You asked questions. You searched for answers in a maze with no exit. Unanswered texts, delayed calls, and polite lies greeted you at every turn. Each empty response, each silent hour, screamed louder than any words could. Nights became endless stretches of quiet torment, filled with self-doubt and the haunting replay of memories you wished you could forget. You questioned yourself incessantly. Was it something you missed? Something you could have prevented? Every conversation, every laugh, every small gesture now replayed as evidence of your perceived failures. And the worst part, they moved on easily, smoothly. Without a backward glance, they carried no weight, no guilt, no understanding of the destruction they left in their wake. The silence itself became a punishment. It wasn't just the absence of words, it was the absence of acknowledgement, of closure, of any kind of emotional reckoning. Your mind filled the space with imagined conversations, imagined confessions, imagined apologies that would never come. Every night, you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to your own thoughts grow louder, spiraling into fear, grief, and rage. Your reflection became unfamiliar. Your eyes held a weariness, a quiet despair, a shadow of the person you once were. Days blurred into nights. Nights stretched endlessly. The world moved on, but you remained suspended in the wreckage of what had been taken. Then came rock bottom, not a single catastrophic collapse, but a slow suffocation of hope. You felt invisible, insignificant, discarded. Isolation became your companion. Friends noticed the change but couldn't touch it. Even being surrounded by people felt like standing behind glass, watching life happen without you. Self-doubt consumed every decision, every thought, every impulse. You questioned everything, from your choices to your instincts. Even your ability to trust yourself again. Nights became battlegrounds of your own mind, where memories and doubts clashed endlessly. You stopped hoping, stopped believing, and nearly stopped breathing in the weight of it all. And yet, amid that suffocating darkness, something flickered. Awareness. A faint, fragile realization that your story was not yet finished, that survival was still possible, that even this devastation, this betrayal could become the foundation of something stronger. The seed of change planted itself quietly in the ruins of your old life, waiting for the moment when you would nurture it into growth. The shift happened subtly. Anger still tempted you, and urge to hurt them back, to make them feel what you felt, to assert the power you thought they stole. But every plan of revenge you imagined required their attention, their reaction, their acknowledgement, and slowly you realized giving them that power would only tether you to your own pain. So you stopped. You chose yourself. You chose rebuilding over retaliation, clarity over chaos, self-respect over You focused on small, deliberate acts of routines, exercise, boundaries, quiet victories that slowly rebuilt your confidence. You were reclaiming not just your life, but your sense of self, brick by brick, with patience and determination.
Time passed and the glow began. It was subtle at first, a lighter step. A genuine laugh, a smile that reached your eyes. Confidence returned, quietly, but undeniably. Success followed in ways that were almost imperceptible. Recognition at work, new opportunities, friends noticing a difference, ideas flowing again. And the most remarkable thing, none of it was for them. You didn't need to announce it, flaunt it, or seek validation. You simply lived. And in doing so, the person who had caused the pain began noticing. Your absence spoke volumes. Every moment of joy, every quiet triumph, every boundary you held carried a message louder than words. The power had shifted. They were no longer central to your life, no longer able to influence, control, or diminish you. Regret crept into their world slowly, like a shadow they couldn't shake. Memories they had ignored, kindnesses they had dismissed, loyalty they had taken for granted all came back to haunt them in subtle, piercing ways. They noticed your laughter without them, your milestones celebrated in silence, your presence in spaces they no longer occupied. And in that creeping realization, panic, guilt, and helplessness settled in. Too late. No apology could undo the transformation you had undergone. No words could reclaim what was already yours, your peace, your strength, your independence. This is the ultimate revenge. Quiet, absolute, undeniable. It isn't loud, it doesn't need witnesses. It doesn't seek validation. It is peace. It is self-respect. It is living fully, free from bitterness, free from dependence on someone who once tried to define your worth. Nothing hurts more than irrelevance, and that is the message your life now carries. The betrayal, the sleepless nights, the doubts, they all led to this. A life rebuilt stronger than ever. Heart untouchable, a spirit unbreakable. And here is the truth. Real revenge isn't destruction. It isn't drama. It isn't chaos. It's becoming untouchable. Thriving silently. Reclaiming your life. Loving yourself enough to stop letting someone else's actions dictate your happiness. The scars remain, yes, but they are a testament to survival, resilience, and transformation. No one can diminish your worth unless you allow it. No one can take your peace unless you surrender it. And nothing is more powerful than walking away and thriving untouchable, unbroken, unstoppable. What if the person who broke you had to watch you rise silently? No yelling, no confrontation, no dramatic scene. Just the kind of emotional revenge that cuts deeper than anything else. Quiet, relentless, and impossible to ignore. Welcome to Revenge Room, place where real emotions collide, real pain is confronted, and real payback takes forms that no one expects. This story isn't about fists or shouting matches. It's about betrayal so deep it shakes the foundation of who you are. And the journey to reclaim yourself in a way that leaves no room for them to matter anymore. If you've ever been underestimated, betrayed, or left broken, this story will hit you differently. Stay with it, because the ending will change everything you thought you knew about power, pain, and revenge.
And here's the truth. The ultimate revenge isn't loud. It isn't chaotic. It doesn't demand attention, recognition, or applause. It's subtle, quiet, and unstoppably kind of revenge that no one can ever undo. The kind that doesn't make them fear you in the moment, but slowly erodes their influence over your life until it's gone forever. True revenge isn't about confrontation, it's about transformation. It's about rising above the pain, above the betrayal, above the people who thought they could define your worth. Think about it. All the energy spent plotting, yelling, proving, or exposing someone, they don't need to see it. They don't need to understand it. Your growth, your confidence, your joy, your independence, they feel it, even if you don't say a word. Every laugh, every milestone, every small moment of contentment, they are reminders of what they lost, reminders that you are no longer theirs to control. Silence becomes your sharpest weapon, absence becomes your loudest statement, and your success becomes the proof that they underestimated you. Being untouchable isn't arrogance. It's not about superiority or showing off. It's about reclaiming your life, your time, and your peace. It's waking up without fear, going to sleep without guilt, and walking through the world knowing that no betrayal, no abandonment, no insult can define your value anymore. That calm confidence, that inner glow, that quiet pride, they are more powerful than any revenge plot ever could be, and it's permanent. Once you reach that state, no one can take it from you. No one can diminish it. No one can break it. The people who hurt you will notice it, of course. They will sense the shift before they understand it. They will feel a void they cannot fill, a power they can no longer hold over you. And that is where the real satisfaction comes, not in causing them pain, but in watching the undeniable truth manifest. You are thriving without them, and there is nothing they can do to change it. Every opportunity you seize, every goal you accomplish, every smile you share becomes a subtle yet devastating statement to the one who tried to break you. I survived. I became stronger. You no longer matter. This is the kind of revenge that doesn't require confrontation. It doesn't rely on words, fights, or public displays. It is quiet, almost invisible, yet impossible to ignore. The world doesn't need to witness your transformation. They will see it eventually. Through the way you carry yourself, the way you interact with life, and the way your peace radiates in every corner of your existence. This is how true power is built. Silently, relentlessly, with every choice you make in favor of yourself, not against anyone else. Remember, your power isn't in retaliation. Your power isn't in making them feel what you felt. Your power is in your rise, in your calm, in your independence, in your unwavering ability to live fully, without anger, without bitterness, without ever needing their validation. The ultimate revenge is not destruction, it is growth. It is the kind of victory that cannot be taken away. The kind that transforms pain into unshakable strength. The kind that makes betrayal irrelevant. So, if someone underestimated you, betrayed you, or tried to leave you broken, remember this: you are untouchable. Your life, your peace, your success, they are yours to claim and keep. And every quiet victory, every confident step, every moment of joy is proof of that untouchable state. Comment untouchable below if you feel that power. This story proves one thing. The best revenge isn't about hurting someone else. It's about becoming someone they could never touch. Someone unstoppable. Someone fully alive. Because the ultimate truth is simple. The stronger, calmer, and happier you become, the louder your life speaks. And the people who tried to break you, they will feel it the most in every moment you continue to rise, silently but powerfully, untouchable forever.